Alex had always dreamed of exploring the stars. Ever since he was a child, he looked up at the night sky and imagined what other worlds might be like. Today, that dream was becoming real. He stepped off the small shuttle onto the surface of Virelia, a planet known across the galaxy for its extraordinary culture and advanced civilization. The air was breathable but carried a faint sweetness, unlike anything on Earth. Strange, glowing plants swayed gently in the light of a teal sun, and the sky shimmered with colors Alex had no names for. He adjusted his exploration suit and took his first steps onto the soft, luminous ground. The planet was silent yet alive. He could hear the distant hum of energy, like the world itself was breathing. Alex had been sent here by the Interstellar Council to study the Virelians, their way of life, their traditions, their technology. But he quickly realized that no report, no video, and no simulation could have prepared him for this. As he moved forward, he noticed figures in the distance. They had tall, elegant forms with shimmering skin that reflected the light in patterns, almost like flowing liquid metal. Their faces were serene, their eyes deep pools of color that seemed to observe everything at once. Alex felt a strange mix of awe and nervousness. He knew he needed guidance to understand their ways. "Hello, traveler," a soft voice called. Alex turned to see a Virelian approaching. She moved gracefully, almost floating across the ground. Her name was Leah, one of the scholars of Virelia. Her skin shifted with soft golden hues and her eyes glowed faintly, expressing warmth and curiosity. I'm Alex," he said, bowing slightly. "I'm here to learn about your world," Leah smiled. "You are brave to come alone. Many humans cannot understand Virelia, but I see your mind is open." "That is a good start," Alex felt relieved. Leah's calm presence made him feel less like an intruder. She gestured for him to follow, and they began walking toward a distant city that seemed to rise from the ground like crystal towers. The closer they got, the more Alex noticed the details. Buildings were organic, flowing with curves and light. The streets weren't paved. They were glowing paths that reacted to footsteps, illuminating briefly before fading. Aliens moved around, interacting without words. Gestures, lights, and gentle sounds conveyed their thoughts. Alex realized that Virelians didn't rely on speech as humans did. They communicated in many layers, visually, emotionally, and mentally. "This will be challenging for you," Leah said, noticing Alex's wide-eyed wonder. "Our ways are not simple. They are woven into everything we do, our homes, our tools, even our emotions." Alex nodded. "I want to understand. I want to learn how you live, and why." They reached the city center where a large plaza opened before them. In the middle, a fountain of shimmering liquid spiraled upward, reflecting colors like a living rainbow. Around it, Virelians gathered in small groups, performing movements that looked like a dance. Yet Alex sensed purpose behind each motion. "Observe," Leah instructed. "This is the ceremony of light. It is a celebration of knowledge, of growth. Every movement has meaning, every gesture tells a story." Alex watched carefully. Some Virelians moved slowly, extending their hands toward others, exchanging glowing threads of energy that hovered between them. Others performed rapid motions, creating patterns that floated above their heads. Alex could feel that this was more than art. It was communication, a language of intention and respect. "Can humans do this?" Alex asked, unsure if he should try. Leah laughed softly. "Some humans can learn if they are patient. But first you must learn to feel, not just see." Alex spent hours with Leah in the plaza, trying to mimic the gestures, trying to sense the threads of energy. He failed often, sending the energy in the wrong direction or breaking the patterns entirely. The Virelians watched him, not with judgment but with quiet curiosity. He felt embarrassed at first, but Leah encouraged him. "You are learning," she said. "Every mistake teaches you more than success. Do not fear failure." By the time the teal sun began to dip below the horizon, Alex had made small progress. He could send short threads of energy that hovered between him and Leah. It was a simple connection, but it felt like a bridge forming between two very different worlds. After the ceremony, Leah led him to a building that looked like it was grown from the ground itself, walls smooth and glowing faintly. Inside, the space was warm, filled with soft light and strange instruments. "This is the House of Knowledge," Leah explained. "Here we record, share, and teach. Tomorrow, you will begin your lessons in our history and customs. You will learn not just with your mind, but with your body and heart." Alex nodded, feeling both excitement and nervousness. "I am ready," he said, though he wasn't sure if he truly understood what lay ahead. That night, Alex lay in a simple room prepared for him. Through the glowing window, he could see the alien city sparkling under the twin moons of Virelia. He thought about everything he had seen: the flowing buildings, the glowing streets, the ceremony of light, and Leah's patient guidance. He realized that he had come for knowledge, but he was also learning something deeper: humility, respect, and the importance of observing before acting. Sleep came slowly. His mind raced with questions. How could humans ever adapt to this way of life? Could he ever fully understand Virelia's culture? And yet, despite the uncertainty, he felt a thrill. He was part of something extraordinary, something beyond any human experience. Morning came, and with it, the lessons began. Leah guided him through the first exercise, understanding the patterns of energy exchange. At first, Alex struggled to sense the flows. His hands trembled, his mind raced, and he felt frustrated. But Leah's presence was calming. She demonstrated patiently, showing how the energy moved not only through gestures but through intentions. "Think of it as sharing a thought," she said. "Not just words, but the feeling behind it. Humans often speak without thinking, but here you must feel before acting." Alex closed his eyes and tried. Slowly, he felt a faint warmth, a ripple of understanding. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to connect even for a moment with Leah. He opened his eyes to see her smiling. "You are learning faster than I expected," she said. "Humans have a unique way of observing. You notice things we sometimes overlook." For the next few hours, Alex continued practicing. He learned to move in harmony with the patterns of the city, to feel the energy threads connecting Virelians as they walked, spoke, or gestured. He made mistakes, yes, but each one brought insight. By evening, he felt exhausted but accomplished. Leah and Alex walked through the city again, this time in silence. The streets glowed softly beneath their feet, and the floating threads of energy around them created a quiet, sparkling symphony. Alex understood finally that learning this culture was not just about actions. It was about connection, observation, and respect. When they reached the House of Knowledge, Leah turned to him. "Tomorrow we will begin the next part of your lessons, understanding our rituals, our celebrations, and how we honor our past. Are you ready for more?" Alex smiled, feeling a mix of anticipation and determination. "Yes, I came to learn, and I will do whatever it takes." Leah nodded, her glowing eyes reflecting pride. "Good. The path will be difficult, but I believe you have the heart of a true student." That night, Alex looked out at the city one more time before sleeping. Virelia was no longer just a planet. It was a living world full of wisdom, challenges, and beauty. And he knew deep inside that this journey was only beginning. Tomorrow, he would take his next steps, not just as a human visitor, but as someone striving to understand a civilization far beyond Earth. He didn't know what lessons awaited him, but he was ready to face them. And for the first time in his life, Alex felt that learning, truly learning, could change him in ways he could never have imagined. The next morning, Alex awoke with the sun's teal light spilling across his room. Today, Leah had promised to take him deeper into Virelia's culture. The lessons so far had been fascinating, but he felt there was much more to discover: rituals, celebrations, and the wisdom behind them. After a simple breakfast of soft, glowing fruits and a drink that shimmered like liquid light, Leah led Alex out into the city. "Today," she said, "you will learn why we honor our history, our ancestors, and the natural world. You will see that every action, every thought is connected to our past." They arrived at a vast amphitheater carved naturally into the landscape. The structure seemed to grow out of the hills, with terraces of glowing stone and plants spiraling around the edges. Virelians were already gathering, forming intricate patterns in the open space below. Their movements were precise but fluid, like a dance that had been practiced for centuries. "This is the ceremony of remembrance," Leah explained. "It is held to honor the generations before us. Every pattern has meaning. Every gesture tells a story. Today you will participate and you will learn to express respect through action." Alex felt a pang of nervousness. He had done small exercises before, but a full ceremony felt overwhelming. I hope I can do it right," he admitted. Leah's glowing eyes met his. "You will not be perfect. That is not the point. The point is sincerity. If your intentions are true, the ceremony will accept you. They moved toward the center of the amphitheater. Alex tried to imitate the Varelians around him, carefully observing their gestures and the flow of energy between them. His first attempts were awkward. The threads of energy fizzled or shot off in the wrong direction. Some Varelians glanced at him curiously, but none reacted with hostility. Leah guided him patiently, demonstrating how to align his hands, his posture, and his thoughts. Feel the energy, she instructed. It is not just around you, it is within you. Respect, focus, and harmony will guide it. Hours passed. Alex repeated the movements, sending gentle threads of energy that slowly began to connect with those around him. He could feel the rhythm of the ceremony, the pulse of shared history, and the silent stories that flowed through each gesture. For the first time, he understood that Varelian culture was not just a set of customs. It was a living, breathing expression of their collective memory. During a brief pause, Alex asked, "How did this start? Did someone teach it or did it evolve?" Leah smiled. "It evolved. Each generation added something, refined something, remembered something. Humans are much like this, I think. You pass down knowledge, stories, and traditions. But here we also pass down feelings, connections, and energy." Alex nodded, considering her words. On Earth, history was recorded in books and videos. Here it was experienced, felt, and shared directly. The thought was both beautiful and humbling. As the ceremony continued, Alex began to move more confidently. His hands glowed faintly, sending threads that intertwined with the Varelians nearby. When a particularly complex pattern formed, Leah placed her hand on his shoulder. "You see, you are part of the story now. You are connected." By the end of the day, Alex was exhausted but exhilarated. The Varelians gathered in a final formation, creating a shimmering spiral of energy that stretched toward the sky. Alex joined them, adding his own thread. It was a small contribution, but in that moment, he felt part of something larger than himself, a living legacy of knowledge, respect, and connection. After the ceremony, Leah led Alex to a quiet garden outside the city. The garden was filled with bioluminescent plants that responded to touch, glowing brighter as they sensed presence. Small streams of liquid light flowed through the paths, and soft melodic sounds echoed from unseen sources. "This is a place of reflection," Leah said. "After learning, you must rest, absorb, and think. Culture is not just action, it is understanding." Alex wandered along the paths, touching the glowing plants and listening to the gentle music. He thought about how different this world was from Earth, yet how familiar it felt in its core principles: respect, curiosity, and connection. "Alex," Leah said softly, "tomorrow you will begin learning our language more deeply. Not just words, but meaning, context, and emotion. Language is the key to understanding our thoughts and ideas." Alex nodded, feeling anticipation and determination. "I want to learn everything I can." That night, as he lay in his room, Alex reflected on his first full day of cultural immersion. He had seen rituals that had been performed for centuries, felt energy patterns that carried meaning, and understood, even briefly, how a civilization could transmit knowledge without words. It was overwhelming but exhilarating. The next morning, Leah introduced a new lesson. "Today we will explore Varelian storytelling. Stories are not told only with words. They are expressed through movement, energy, and thought. You will learn to listen and to express your own story in their way." They entered a circular chamber, its walls glowing softly with shifting colors. Varelians were seated in patterns that seemed random, but Alex sensed a rhythm, a hidden order. One by one, they shared stories, projecting feelings, images, and events through subtle gestures and threads of energy. Alex watched in awe as history, emotion, and imagination merged into a living experience. "Now it is your turn," Leah said. Alex felt nervous. How could he convey a story without words? He closed his eyes and thought of his journey to Varelia, the shuttle ride, the first sight of the city, the ceremony of light, and the ceremony of remembrance. Slowly, he began to move his hands, sending out threads of energy, trying to express wonder, curiosity, and respect. The threads intertwined, creating faint patterns that reflected his emotions. The Varelians watched intently. Some of their energy threads reached toward him, connecting, guiding, and responding. Alex felt a wave of understanding. He was not speaking a language, but he was communicating. The story of a human eager to learn was reaching across worlds. Leah smiled. "Very good, Alex. You are beginning to understand that culture is more than learning. It is sharing, feeling, and connecting. By the end of the day, Alex realized that learning Varelian culture was not a linear process. It was a living, evolving experience that required patience, observation, and empathy. He had learned rituals, storytelling, and energy communication, but he knew there was still so much more. As the sun set, painting the sky in shades of teal and lavender, Alex and Leah walked through the city. The streets shimmered beneath their feet, and the energy threads around the Varelians created a sparkling symphony. Alex felt a sense of peace, knowing he was on the right path. "Tomorrow," Leah said, "you will begin learning our art, music, and technology. Each is a reflection of our values and history. You will see how deeply culture influences every part of our lives." Alex nodded. "I am ready. I want to understand everything." That night, as he prepared for sleep, Alex thought about the lessons of the day. Culture was not just about observing, it was about participating, feeling, and respecting. Virelia had taught him that humans had much to learn about connecting with other civilizations, and he felt proud that he had taken the first steps. The journey was just beginning, and Alex knew that the challenges ahead would be greater than anything he had faced. But he also knew that his curiosity, determination, and respect for Virelia's people would guide him. He fell asleep with a sense of purpose, eager for the lessons and experiences that tomorrow would bring. The morning sun on Virelia cast long teal shadows across the glowing city. Alex felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Today, Leah had said, would be different. He would not just observe or imitate, he would be tested. They walked through the streets, which were alive with subtle energy flows. The paths beneath their feet shimmered with light, responding to their movements. Alex had grown more confident in sensing the energy threads around the Varelians, but he still felt there was much to master. "We are going to the Hall of Challenges," Leah explained. "It is a place where humans and aliens learn to apply what they have observed. You will face tasks that test your understanding, patience, and perception. You may fail, but each failure teaches more than success." Alex nodded, determination shining in his eyes. He had come to Virelia to learn, and now it was time to see if he could apply what he had learned. The Hall of Challenges was an impressive structure. Its walls shimmered like liquid metal, reflecting the colors of the sky outside. Inside, the floor was patterned with glowing symbols, shifting and changing as Alex stepped forward. The air hummed softly, resonating with the energy of the building itself. "Your first challenge," Leah said, "is to navigate the maze of understanding." Alex looked around. The maze's walls glowed softly, and paths twisted in ways that seemed almost impossible to follow. But the maze was more than physical. It responded to thought and emotion. The Varelians who designed it had intended it as a tool to teach patience, perception, and awareness of the unseen energy flows. "You must move not just with your eyes, but with your senses," Leah instructed. "Feel the energy. Listen to the patterns. Let the maze guide you." Alex took a deep breath and stepped forward. At first, he relied on sight alone, and the paths shifted, confusing him. He ran into dead ends, and the glowing walls pulsed softly, almost as if correcting him. Then he remembered Leah's words, "Feel, don't just see." He closed his eyes and focused on the energy flows around him. Slowly, he began to sense faint threads that led him forward. His hands moved instinctively, brushing against invisible currents. The maze seemed to respond, opening pathways where he intended to go. He realized that success here was not about force or logic, it was about connection. Hours passed. Alex navigated twists and turns, encountering puzzles that required him to observe patterns in energy, interpret movements of glowing creatures, and even reflect on his own thoughts and feelings. Each step taught him more about Varelian culture and the way they connected mind, body, and environment. Finally, he reached the center of the maze. A small platform glowed softly beneath his feet. The walls of the hall opened, revealing a panoramic view of the city. Alex felt a rush of accomplishment. He had completed the first challenge, not by brute force or speed, but by patience, observation, and understanding. Leah appeared beside him, her glowing form reflecting pride. "You see, Alex, you are beginning to understand our ways. Observation and respect are as important as action." Alex smiled, feeling a surge of confidence. But he knew this was only the beginning. The next challenge was different. Leah led him to a room filled with objects he had never seen before. Devices that pulsed with energy, floating orbs, and panels that displayed shifting symbols. This is the challenge of creation, Leah explained. Here, you will use what you have learned to create a small demonstration of understanding. It can be simple, but it must show that you can connect, observe, and apply knowledge. Alex studied the objects. At first, he felt overwhelmed. The devices were unlike anything on Earth. But he remembered the lessons from the ceremony of light and the ceremony of remembrance. He had learned to observe patterns, feel energy, and connect with intention. He picked up a small orb. It pulsed softly in his hand. He focused on the energy around him, imagining a pattern of light that would represent respect, learning, and curiosity. Slowly, the orb began to glow brighter, threads of energy weaving outward, connecting with other objects in the room. Alex realized he was not just manipulating devices, he was communicating with them, sharing his intent through energy. The objects responded, forming a small constellation of light that reflected his understanding of Virelian culture. Leah observed silently, then nodded approvingly. Very good. You have learned to express understanding through action, intention, and connection. This is the essence of our teaching. The final challenge awaited, the test of harmony. Leah led Alex to an open field where a group of Virelians awaited. Each was connected by glowing threads of energy, forming a complex network. Alex's task was to join them, to integrate his own energy flow into the collective without disrupting the balance. Alex took a deep breath. He extended his hands, focusing on the network. At first, his threads flickered and the energy around him pulsed nervously. But he remembered everything he had learned: observation, patience, intention, respect. Slowly, his energy synchronized with the others, weaving into the network without disturbance. The Virelians moved in harmony, and Alex moved with them. For the first time, he felt fully connected, not just observing a culture, but participating in it. The energy threads glowed brighter, forming a pattern of light that reflected unity, trust, and understanding. When the exercise ended, Leah approached him. Alex, you have done more than I expected. You are not just a student, you are becoming a bridge between our worlds. Alex felt a mixture of pride and humility. He had come to Virelia to learn about culture, and he had discovered something deeper: the ability of humans to adapt, observe, and connect in ways that transcended language and appearance. As they walked back to the city, Alex asked, "Do all Virelians go through these challenges?" "Not all," Leah replied. "Only those who seek to deepen understanding. It is a choice, not an obligation. Humans are rare in this regard. Most come for technology or curiosity. You come to learn, and that is what matters." Alex nodded, reflecting on his journey so far. Each lesson, each challenge had not only taught him about Virelia, but also about himself. He realized that learning a culture required more than observation. It required patience, humility, and a willingness to adapt. That evening, Leah took him to a quiet terrace overlooking the glowing city. The twin moons reflected in the streams below, creating a serene, magical view. Alex sat in silence, absorbing the beauty and complexity of Virelia. "You have grown much in a short time," Leah said softly, "but the greatest lessons are still ahead. Tomorrow, you will learn about our leaders, our values, and the responsibilities that come with understanding. You will see that culture is not just tradition. It is the foundation of how we live, how we think, and how we protect what we hold dear." Alex felt a sense of anticipation. He had faced challenges, learned rituals, and connected with Virelians in ways he never imagined possible. Yet he knew that true understanding was an ongoing journey, one that required continuous learning and reflection. As he lay down to rest that night, Alex thought about the path ahead. The Hall of Challenges had tested his mind, body, and spirit. He had learned that humans were capable of adaptation, empathy, and connection, even in the most alien circumstances. He felt pride, but more importantly, he felt purpose. Tomorrow would bring new lessons, new experiences, and new opportunities to grow. And Alex knew that no matter how difficult the journey, he would continue to strive, not just to learn a culture, but to become part of it. The stars above Virelia shimmered, and Alex felt a quiet determination. He had come to explore, to observe, and to understand. But he had also discovered that humans could connect, adapt, and contribute in ways that even advanced civilizations valued. And for Alex, that was only the beginning. The next morning, The soft glow of Virelia's sun bathed the city in teal and lavender light. Alex woke with a sense of purpose. Today would be the day he fully stepped into the heart of Virelian culture. The lessons, challenges, and experiences of the past days had prepared him, but he knew the final steps required patience, understanding, and courage. Leah greeted him at the city's edge. "Today, Alex," she said, "you will participate in the ceremony of unity. It is the most important cultural event on Virelia. Here you will not only observe and learn, you will contribute and your place among us will be recognized." Alex felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The ceremony of unity was a rare event, attended by leaders, scholars, and citizens alike. It celebrated the bond between individuals, communities, and generations, emphasizing respect, cooperation, and shared purpose. As they walked toward the amphitheater, Alex noticed the preparations. Glowing paths led to the central plaza. Threads of energy flowed between participants and symbols appeared on the ground, shifting and changing with anticipation. Alex understood that this was a living, breathing expression of culture, a blend of art, ritual, and connection. "Remember," Leah said softly, "today is not a test of perfection. It is a reflection of understanding. Let your actions and intentions speak." They entered the amphitheater. Virelians moved with grace, forming intricate patterns. Each movement was synchronized with energy flows, creating a luminous web that stretched across the plaza. Alex's heart raced as he stepped forward, realizing that he was about to become part of this web. He took a deep breath, recalling the lessons from the maze of understanding and the challenge of creation. Observation, patience, intention, and connection. These were the tools he had learned to use. Alex focused on the energy around him, allowing it to guide his movements. At first, his threads of energy flickered, hesitant and uncertain. But as he concentrated, they began to integrate with the network. Slowly, he found the rhythm, moving in harmony with the Virelians around him. His gestures, though imperfect, carried sincerity, and the energy responded. Leah moved beside him, her presence calming and supportive. "Good, Alex, feel the flow. Trust yourself. You are part of this just as you are." As the ceremony continued, Alex's confidence grew. He could sense the subtle connections between participants, the unspoken messages flowing through the threads of energy, and the collective focus that bound them together. For the first time, he felt fully immersed in Virelian culture, not as an outsider but as a participant. The ceremony reached its climax. Virelians joined hands, or the energy equivalent of hands, forming a vast circle. In the center, Alex placed his own energy thread, linking it to the network. A wave of light pulsed outward, brightening the plaza and resonating through the city. Alex felt a surge of connection, a profound sense of belonging. When the light faded, the Virelians looked toward him, their expressions calm and approving. Leah smiled. "You have done it, Alex. You have not only learned, but you have shared yourself. You are now recognized as someone who understands, respects, and contributes to our culture." Alex felt a deep sense of pride and humility. He had come to Virelia to learn about a civilization far beyond Earth, and he had discovered that humans could connect, adapt, and contribute in ways that transcended differences. After the ceremony, Leah led him to a terrace overlooking the city. The glowing plants and streams reflected the colors of the sky, creating a serene and magical atmosphere. "You have grown much in a short time," Leah said. "But the most important lesson is this. Culture is not static. It lives through those who observe, respect, and participate. You have shown that humans can honor and connect with what is different from themselves." Alex nodded, absorbing her words. "I realize now that learning is more than observing. It is feeling, participating, and understanding the meaning behind every action." Leah's glowing eyes reflected pride. "Exactly. You have not only learned, but you have become a bridge between our worlds. That is rare, and it is valuable." The following days were filled with smaller lessons, shared experiences, and conversations with Virelians. Alex learned about their history, their leaders, and the values that guided their civilization. He visited schools, workshops, and community spaces, observing and participating in ways that deepened his understanding. Each interaction reinforced a central idea. Humans could learn, adapt, and thrive in even the most alien circumstances. Alex saw how curiosity, respect, and patience allowed him to connect with a civilization far beyond Earth's. One afternoon, Leah took him to a special garden, a place where Varelians celebrated creativity and innovation. "Here," she said, "we honor those who contribute to our world. It is not only skill or knowledge that matters, but intent and understanding. You have shown all of these, Alex." Alex walked among the glowing plants and gentle streams. He reflected on his journey, from a curious observer to a participant, from uncertainty to confidence, and from an outsider to someone recognized by an advanced civilization. "I never imagined I could feel this connected to another world," Alex admitted. "It's more than I expected," Leah nodded. "That is the essence of culture. It is not just traditions or rules, it is connection, respect, and shared understanding. Humans are capable of this, as you have proven." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a soft glow over the city, Alex and Leah returned to the House of Knowledge. The city seemed alive with energy, its glowing paths and flowing buildings a reflection of the civilization itself. That night, Alex sat by the window, looking at the city below. He thought about how much he had learned, how many lessons he had absorbed, and how deeply he had connected with Varelian culture. He realized that learning was not just about knowledge, it was about understanding, feeling, and participating. He also thought about Earth. Humans had much to learn about patience, observation, and connection. Varelia had shown him that humans were capable of more than they often realized, and he felt a renewed sense of purpose. The next morning, Alex met Leah for one final reflection. "You have completed your journey here, Alex," she said. "But the lessons do not end. Culture, understanding, and connection are ongoing. You will carry what you have learned back to your world, and perhaps even help others see what you have seen." Alex smiled, feeling gratitude and determination. "I will. I want to share what I have learned, and I want to continue learning." "This is only the beginning," Leah nodded. "Good, remember, the heart of learning is respect and connection. As long as you carry that, you will continue to grow." As Alex prepared to leave Varelia, he felt a mixture of sadness and excitement. Sadness for leaving a world that had become so meaningful, and excitement for the possibilities ahead. He had learned about rituals, energy, storytelling, and connection. He had faced challenges that tested his patience, observation, and understanding, and he had discovered that humans were capable of adapting, contributing, and connecting in ways that transcended differences. As the shuttle lifted off, Alex looked down at the glowing city one last time. Varelia had changed him, not just as an explorer, but as a human. He realized that curiosity, patience, and respect could open doors to understanding even the most alien of worlds. And as the stars stretched out before him, Alex knew that the journey of learning, connecting, and growing had only just begun. Varelia was not just a planet, it was a living lesson in culture, empathy, and connection. And Alex would carry its light wherever he went.